Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of Respiratory 2160. We are going to talk about the different settings and different features of the Puritan Bennett 980. Again, with mechanical ventilation, every theory, every function and mode is the same for any ventilator, but the difference is buttons, where the different buttons and everything are. This is a ventilator that's growing in popularity in this area, so that's why I wanted to show you this one. It's new, state-of-the-art, it's beautiful. Okay, remember, we're going to unblock our Y, and then we're going to turn our ventilator on down here. Sorry, I changed the angle so you guys can see the screen easier. It takes a while to turn on because remember, ventilators are computers hooked to air compressors, so it sometimes takes a minute to turn on. One feature while it's starting I want to show you guys is there's a little screen up here that will show you a lot of different things. It's starting to load up. It will show you the last SST, and if it passed, it will show you how charged your batteries are, and it will show you the air and oxygen. And then also, for some reason, if something called a safety valve opens, which we'll talk about a safety valve, it will show you what's going on with your patient, percentage of oxygen, and different feedback it's getting here in this screen. Okay. There we go. One feature with the Puritan Bennett 980 is right here. You'll know it's ready to function when the vent right here is highlighted and turned white. The text is white. Next we have new patient, for if we're setting up for a new patient. Same patient if a patient is maybe getting a procedure or going to the OR and coming back to the same ventilator. And then SST, where we do the test. So let's act like we're setting up for a new patient. You will come to this screen. So it's our new patient setup screen. We can cancel and go back to the same screen, but we're not going to do that. We can choose whether we are ventilating a male or a female. So let's set this up for me. We're going to do a female. So one thing that's really nice about these ventilators is it will calculate the ideal body weight for you, right, if you put in the height. So it will say in centimeters and inches. So we're going to 65 inches because I'm 5'5", and then you accept by tapping it. Okay. We will go through the screen here and then the menus over here. Ventilation type, you can do invasive or non-invasive ventilation with the Puritan Bennett 980. You have to have a specialty mask if you do non-invasive, but since we're talking about mechanical ventilation, we're going to stay in an invasive mode. We have our different modes, which next video I'm going to break down for you, not on the ventilator. So we have assist control, SIMV, spontaneous, and bilevel. And again, next video I will help break it down, and also that's what our lecture is about. Our type, we have pressure control, volume control, and VC+. Again, we're going to talk about that in a different video. Next is trigger type. We can either trigger a breath by changing pressure, such as when the patient drops their diaphragm, or flow. The V dot is flow. So whatever works for your patient. Most patients do better with flow, and then a lower flow than that. Down here are our settings. F is respiratory rate. PIP is same as IPAP. This is in a pressure control setting. Again, we'll talk about that in another video. I time, so our inspiratory time. Our flow trigger. This is our sensitivity is what it's called. So how sensitive it is to trigger a breath. Our FiO2 percentage, and our PEEP down here. So this is just some random numbers that it showed up with. Over here we have our apnea. So again, we have our ventilation type. We're in invasive mode. Or in an assist control is, so we'll match what you put in. And down here are a rate, whatever controls your tidal volume, your inspiratory time, and then an FiO2 if your patient is to go apneic. You can change how long you want it to be, if your patient's apneic for a minute, if for 30 seconds. Most of the time, 20 seconds is pretty typical. If your patient isn't breathing for 20 seconds at a time, they need to take a breath. Okay. So this is a backup for if for some reason your patient is on a spontaneous mode and they decide not to breathe, we can have the vent start back up and breathe for your patient. Here are our alarms. We want to set alarms to let us know if the patient maybe is out of range in any way or not doing well in some way. So this is our peak pressure, and we will go over alarms in a few weeks, so don't get too stressed on alarms at the moment. Remember, small bites. Rate, how high their respiratory rate is. They're high and they're low of their minute volume. They're high and they're low of their mandatory tidal volume, so what we deliver at the ventilator. And they're high and low of their spontaneous tidal volume, so the breath that they take themselves. I typically leave these the same. And then more settings. This is just different things that can help you with your patient. So we're using a heated tube, non-heated HME. Okay. So this is our vent setup screen. Once we have the settings in, so I will tap, change my rate, so we'll go to 20, pip of 12, and then sometimes it will automatically. Over here, down here shows the ratio of your inspiratory to expiratory. It's a little hard, again, I'll try to draw pictures so it's a little easier for you guys to see. So we can increase our I time so that I'm in a 1 to 2 IE ratio and whatever's most comfortable for your patients. So you can adjust your rate and your inspiratory time to adjust IE ratio. I have some visuals to show you guys that are a little easier to see. It's also really easy to see on the V60. Most patients find a 2 of flow most comfortable. I very rarely waver from a 2 of flow for sensitivity. FiO2, and then our PEEP. Remember, if you go anywhere less than 5, I will roundhouse kick you in the head. Okay, and then we will press start, and that's the initial screen. I will go over modes on a piece of paper to show you guys to help break it down. So you press start. It's going to alarm. I'm just warning you guys now. So here I am. This is our standby screen. You can see I can either press confirm or attach the patient to the Y in order to start ventilation. Here's our settings we put in down here. Everything should match. Over here, this little box tells you what mode you're in and brings you back to this setup screen. So this far left over here. Here is the home screen, which just brings you back to this where you can see patient feedback. This little bell shows you your alarms. This button right below it, oh, not that one, gives 100% oxygen to your patient. So if you're suctioning, for example. This little clipboard will tell you what alarms have occurred in the past and different setting changes. So you can come in and you can look at alarms, setting changes, and when it happened. It's really, really nice. We won't go into those just because it's a little more in depth. So I'm going to press the home button to bring us back to home. Down here you can change some of these buttons you won't ever really use. This changes how bright or how dark your screen is. This will lock your screen, so you can lock it. So then you can touch it nothing happens. I use this when I'm wiping down my ventilator at the beginning, and you just press it again. If it's orange, it's glowing, it's locked. Press it again, and in 5 seconds it unlocks. This changes the how loud your alarms are. I like it loud. This delivers a mandatory breath, so you can actually bag your patient through the ventilator. Inspiratory hold, expiratory hold, which we will talk about when it comes to compliance. This resets the alarms, so if you have like alarms and different things are flashing, it will reset it. And then the most important button, the silence button, and it will silence the ventilator for 2 whole minutes. Once we have the ventilator running, which I don't have a test lung, along the top here, it will read what your patient is reading, so different measurements and everything. We will have virtual ventilators for you guys to play with, and we will set those up for you guys for your assignment so that you can go on and play and push buttons and get more comfortable with these ventilators while we're not in the lab. That's our initial screen and our initial settings. I will discuss modes of ventilation in our next video, and we'll see you then. Good work, guys.